Hi, everyone. How are you? I'm Joe Burney. Laura, thank you so much for inviting me onto the call. I've seen you and Wendy do this many times. As soon as I found out about LifeWave, of course, I can be a very data-driven guy. You know, I'm a decision maker, but I want to know the information. So I dove in to the website and all the information, and then I went searching for testimonies from real people like what you do. I think this is so important because you have real people from all walks of life that everybody can relate to. And it's like, come on, you see enough people going, this is amazing. People start to go, okay, I got to at least try.
Right.
So I'm from New Jersey. My background is, I was a contractor my whole life. I'm a carpenter by trade. When I was younger, I was an athlete and I thought I was indestructible. I was the one that thought I could walk through walls and, just got a little crazy, right? And also played guitar since I was 8 years old. So everything was always at a fast pace. But then as I started to age, through time, I started to notice things changing. And especially recently, I say past 4 years or so, maybe 5 years, I started noticing that definite differences, the energy levels, the motivation. I've always taken care of myself. I've always been very passionate about health and wellness and natural cures and anti-aging. It's a passion that I've kind of turned into a lifestyle and a profession. I sold my contracting company. I got involved in the medical industry. And so it started off as a personal journey. It was really just for me. And then as I was learning things and finding out what worked, and a majority of what's out there doesn't work, I start to share that with people. So this was kind of like the next logical step for me as far as a product goes. There's a lot of pills and potions and lotions out there. Some things are good, but a lot of it's just like the same stuff. It's the same thing. It's repurposed, relabeled. I even noticed they change the word of a specific compound or ingredient. They just change the name as if it's something new. And when you research it, it's the same thing. So, in the past 5 years, I just noticed I wasn't wanting to get into the gym like I used to. It used to be a non-negotiable time of the day. I'm going. Nothing else got in the way of that. Then it got to the point, especially after the lockdowns, right? Everything was closed. So I got out of that routine. I have a gym at my home, but I still just didn't feel like it. I'll do it later. And then I'll do it later. And then, screw it, I'll do it tomorrow. And I really wasn't getting there. But then I was experiencing pain, right? So everything was catching up to me. My neck, I was in a car accident back in 97. Somebody rear-ended my truck and it snapped my head. I have herniated discs. So it was getting to the point to where that was waking me up at night, no matter how I slept, no matter what mattress I bought. So I was starting to preemptively take 3 Advil every night so I wouldn't wake up in pain. To play the guitar, I still love to play the guitar as much as I did when I was a teenager, but it became a very excruciating experience. It hurt and it wasn't fun anymore. So I was starting to take Advil, ice, play, ice again, take Advil at night. I was taking Advil every single day, which is not good. Clinically, for a period of a couple of weeks, you can probably get away with that. But so I know that was starting to inadvertently affect other things, like maybe my kidneys. I know I had other things going on in my body that, some of the doctors that I know they were scratching their heads. I had these mystery things going on. No one really knew what was happening or what was.
So who was your angel?
Well, so a friend of mine. So just really quick, I had digestive issues. So I had things like that going on where between pain and discomfort, I was not sleeping. I was waking up 2 to 3 times a night, sometimes for no reason at all. So I was sleep deprived, and it was all starting to really catch up to me. It was even affecting me. And I've always been, on top of the world kind of a guy, but it was, I don't even like to say it, but I was starting to feel this anxiety and depression. It was starting to affect my mood, which affects how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking about. And then I'm not attracting and bringing in what I want.
Right.
So a friend of mine, we both have been in the profession for quite a while. And we have a pact when either of us sees something, and he's very, very health conscious as well. When we see something, we call each other first, no matter what. So he called me, and I was getting a little burnt because over the past few years, I was looking for a business. I was looking for something to do, and nothing really fit my passion. Nothing made sense. There was always a flaw. Something just wasn't right. And when I heard this, he spoke for about an hour and a half, and I listened, taking notes, and I said, all right, stop, just stop. You have me at X39, right? Just send me everything that you have. And of course, if this works, I'm all in. I'm definitely going to, I want to know more. So that's exactly what happened. I had read Tony Robbins, the book that Tony Robbins just wrote, Life Force. And I read his story and what the very, very expensive stem cell injections did for him. He's a multimillionaire. He can afford to fly to Germany and pay $35,000 for an injection. Not everybody can. And I was actually wondering, there's got to be something else that people can do. So I was looking in this direction. I feel like, and I recommended the book to several people that I know. So I feel like we kind of had this mastermind going on. We're all focused on this downstream. And sure enough, this came to me. The more I looked at it, the more convinced I was this is the real deal. And I was going to start by just getting some personal products, and then after a while, I'm like, you know what, I want all of it, and I want it yesterday, and I can't get these on me fast enough. I'm one of the 85%. I felt it immediately. And I screwed up. When I first got them, I put my X39 and X49 on at night before bed, right? I still slept, but probably not. I was a little restless because it gives you energy, But the next morning, first of all, I woke up feeling great. I felt rested more than usual. I wasn't feeling rested when I got up. And I just, for some unknown reason, I just was, and I pay attention to my body. I just was in a really good mood for no particular reason at all. I'm never in a bad mood, but I wasn't, I'm not the kind of guy that wakes up and looks for the pom-poms. I want a cup of coffee. I love my mornings, my nature, peace, quiet, I love the day, but I just was pacing around with my coffee. Like, what do I want to do next? I just was in a really good mood. And then as I started going, I did a testimonial with Marcy and Dr. Stacy after just a month, and already, and I journaled, right? So I think everybody, when you use these, they should write it down. Write down how you feel right now, because as we feel better, we forget how bad we used to feel. And it was right away. I was sleeping really soundly. I stopped taking Advil. I'm at 6 months now since I've been wearing these patches. I've taken Advil maybe 5 times, and it's usually because of something I did to myself because I'm feeling more motivated. So now I'm working out, and I hurt myself. It was my own fault, but that's okay, right? And my hands have been, so after the first month, they were feeling better, but not completely. I think, as we know, the stem cells were addressing other priorities in my body. And I really believe I was just close to starting to go for tests. I had a friend of mine is a cardiologist. He wanted me to do a CAT angio. He wanted to see everything. And I really didn't want to do that because I know if you start looking hard enough, you're going to find something. I don't want to know what was going on, but I know how I felt things were going on. So I started sleeping soundly. I have been sleeping 7 to 9 hours every single night, uninterrupted. There's been a few nights I woke, maybe I had to go to the bathroom because I drank too much water because I'm talking so much now because I just want to tell everybody about this, right? So one morning I remember waking up with sleepers in my eyes. I'm like, I immediately flashed back to childhood when you used to wake up and you couldn't open your eyes. Like, I haven't experienced that. You forget about that stuff. And my digestion has greatly improved. I was doing things, probiotics, digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar, coconut oil. I can keep going.
When you were having let's break it down a little bit. When you were having these digestive issues, what were you experiencing? Because I think that's what people are really going to relate to. Like, what are the little things that became the big things as far as your digestion?
Sure. It was getting to the point to where it came time to like, I wasn't eating. I was afraid to eat.
Okay.
So I was doing intermittent fasting and stuff like that. But when it came time to eat, it's like, well, what do I want to eat? I know what I want to eat, but I know I can't eat most of it. Because if I did, I'm going to immediately feel like crap. And I eat all organic. Okay. I eat organic, clean, natural as best I can. And yet I would get bloated within 15, 20 minutes. All of a sudden I'm bloated. I'm uncomfortable. I don't feel good. Sometimes, you think you're eating something clean, but you're out, you're at a meeting and, you got to choose wisely if you can. And within 15 minutes, I know I just took something in that's toxic to my body. It was just getting to the point where I didn't want to even eat. I was afraid to eat.
Wow.
And yeah. And then that anxiety, I was getting these panic attacks. I don't know why. Like right now, I wouldn't be able to speak with you because I wouldn't be able to breathe as I talk. It would wake me up in the middle of the night sometimes. And again, no one really knew why. I kind of can trace it back now to where it may have started. And I don't really talk about this often. I shared it with Marcy and Dr. Stacy, and I'll share it here. There may be some people on this call that can relate, but I want to know everything when there's a problem. I look for solutions. So, and it came down to everyone that experiences things like that can trace it back to a traumatic experience, and it's usually the loss of a loved one. So my daughter, 5 years ago, well, 6 years ago, almost in 2017, she died unexpectedly. So, she was 27 years old. She left behind 3 little boys. And, it shouldn't have happened. So I guess I ignored the grieving part of it because I was on a mission to see justice done. Now I want revenge, right? So, which I know isn't good. But I think I did that to deflect and not go through that process. So for the first 2 years, I was kind of on a mission, but then at some point, it hit me hard.
Right.
And I think, from that point, I think that's when I really started to spiral. So I have to say right away, I started using Nirvana as well. So, which helped. But after a few weeks, I didn't need it anymore. I think I'm convinced the X39, the new healthy young stem cells doing what they do in my body, I just felt good. I was in a better mood. Everything improved. I felt more balanced. I felt like I was at peace. I wasn't experiencing those attacks. I don't know what to call it. My chest would feel tight. It was crazy. It was, and every time I ate, so the reason I went there, I apologize, was digestion.
Yeah. It's
when I ate. If I ate food, it would trigger it. I mean, I started taking handfuls of benfotiamine, vitamin B1. And I don't eat sugar. I'm lean. I'm healthy. I'm like, I can't be pre-diabetic, can I? I don't eat stuff like that. But yet the benfotiamine was helping, but nothing made it go away until I started wearing these patches. So back pain, neck pain,
Joe, we all look at you and you're the epitome of health. I mean, when you look at you see that. And I think a lot of people see people like you and they think, oh, they're great. And of course, I know all of us on this call want to send our love to you and say how sorry we are that happened. I can't imagine. But, it's things like that in our lives that happen that can trigger a very traumatic event, can trigger so many health issues to pop up. I've seen it so many times. And to see that just in a 6-month period with everything that you have been going through, your body, lack of sleep, digestion, anxiety, and to see now you would have never thought in a million moons that all of that had been going on in your life. And I think everybody on this call, be it guest, be it not, can really associate with times like that in our lives. And for you to come in here and share that this technology was able to provide a tool for you to move you through that and help you through that. I just find that that is just extremely powerful because you're amazing. I mean, wow.